let's be honest. The Crew 2 has been very lackluster for a while. Maybe asking, why? Here's how. There's basically nothing to do in the Crew 2. Well, the only thing they basically do in the Crew 2, like the end game and all that, is basically just race with friends. That's it. There is PvP, but it hasn't improved since the Crew 1. The Crew 1's PvP had some issues with it. They've done nothing to it. The Crew 2 also gets no major updates that adds little to nothing that keeps us coming back. They should learn from games like Gran Turismo Sport or Forza Horizon 4 and Need to Be World. Games that get updates frequently and they also make us come back. There's other things outside of the end game that makes the Crew 2 lackluster. No cop chases, boring street racing, hovercrafts, just so much. So, the Crew 2 is basically a sampler. It's trying way too many things, and then they're not putting enough in that thing. Basically, putting a whole bunch of showrooms out in your city, but you don't have enough cars in them. That's basically what the Crew 2 is like. It's a sampler. How to describe it. And the Crew 2 has also gotten no expansion like the Crew 1. The Crew 1 had Wild Run, which added so much content for free. Like the Summit, there was just so much. There's Calling All Units, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm not that interested in Calling All Units. But the Crew 1... So, the Crew 2 is boring right now, and that led to everyone playing the Crew 1, incessantly instead of the Crew 2, because people like me who really enjoyed the first Crew, especially after Wild Run, would go on and do PvP and get into cop chases. You could do PvP, but cop chases, you can't do that in the Crew 2. There's no cop chases. What I do like to go on Crew 2 for is just to do the Summit for a little bit, but I just go and get the followers, and that's basically it. And the Crew 2 has gotten no major updates. We had Hot Shots, which added a little bit of stuff, but not enough. Got the Summit, all of this stuff that should have been there at launch. And I know Ivory Tower isn't really interested in listening to your guys' requests, but they should know that their fans, what their fans want. If you would take the sample size of 10 crew players, ask them what they play for, they would play the Crew 4. It would be the racing, the cars, the bikes, which is very lacking in Crew 2 since planes and boats. Even though I do like them, but they interfere with other stuff in the game. And the open world is such a downgrade from the Crew 1 because areas all feel the same. The weather conditions are just copied and pasted everywhere. They didn't put effort into the cities. Chicago has no events. San Francisco has no intersections or stoplights, etc. And there's snow in weird places like Miami or Texas. That was never there in the Crew 1. So, I don't know what the thing is. There wasn't that much effort put into the Crew 2, in my opinion. So, there's also no faction missions. Yeah, that actually sucks, because I really like faction missions in the Crew 1. It adds a whole lot more to do with the game, which took you probably 100 hours to complete. And I put a lot of hours in Crew 2. And I mean the Crew 1 and Crew 2 I've had a good share from Crew 2. There's just so many things with the game that could have been worked on, faction missions, the map, all of this stuff. Crew 2 is also missing so many features. It's missing, it's missing cop chases. It's missing faction missions. Everything that made the Crew 1 good Like, none of that is in the Crew 2. That's the point of a sequel. It's to build off of your success. And the Crew 2 does not do that. It erases everything and starts all over with Avatar not even knowing what they did with the Crew 1. They were just did this. Not saying the Crew 2 is a bad game. No, it's not a bad game. It's just kind of a missed opportunity. That's what I'm about, yeah. It's not bad. It's just a missed opportunity. Like, and then to the sampler aspect of this game. So the thing is that the game has so many disciplines, but they just don't have enough events. There's not enough Demolition Derby events. There's not enough hypercar races. Like, there's just not enough of anything in each discipline. So that's one of my main points. That the game is just not doing live sport right. What Avatar needs to do is go look at Forza Horizon 4 and then learn from that. Then people would start coming back to the game. With me, I don't really that often. It said that shows that I got back to the Crew 1 more because of how fun the game is. And you guys should probably, if you haven't bought the Crew 1, you should probably go get it. Well, you should probably just get it, and then you should get the Wild Run expansion. Just Wild Run version, since it's way better than the original. The original Crew, like not Wild Run or anything. It was very flawed. More flawed than Crew 2, to be honest. And the Crew 2 also, to this point, have very ugly character models. So Inner Drive adds some more character models, which look better, since the older ones looked more like aliens in human skin. And a lot of stuff in the game is extremely overpriced, and you don't get enough. And you just don't get enough rewards or anything. You don't. I'm saying. So let's talk about a game like Forza Horizon 4, a game that I go back to a lot because each week they change a lot of stuff, and there's still a lot of stuff to go for and a lot of stuff to keep the game fresh. And that's why I'm coming back to Forza Horizon 4 a lot, because every week we get some type of update, adding like whole new stuff to the game, like whole new stuff to unlock, like cars, emotes, like just all that stuff. And Forza Horizon 4 also it's just a better game. Like, to be honest, if Forza Horizon 4 was on PS4, I probably wouldn't even buy the Crew 2. If Forza Horizon 4 was on PS4. That's the main reason why I bought an Xbox One S, is to play Forza Horizon 4. Even though I can get it on PC, but I don't have a mega machine, like some gaming machine. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's kind of a gaming machine, but I can't do so much on it. So another thing about Crew 2, which has just been so lackluster, is basically just so let's go on everything. The street racing is so messed up, because the street racing plays out like you're just racing on the roads in America, and they're just getting attention from this fat guy in a wheelchair, like, hey, street racing is bad, you shouldn't do it. Like, what kind of stuff is that? So, the Crew 2, in my opinion, like I said, it's just been very lackluster. And I have no idea what Avatar is actually doing. Like, I know there's a hobbies thing coming soon to Crew 2, and I'm hoping that's gonna add a lot more to the game than just, like, new cars or everything. So it's interesting, but it's not out yet. It's because of how the Crew 2 does web sport. Like, it doesn't do everything at once. Like, they do one thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing, yeah. And they're just adding new cars, that's basically it. No new modes, like, Forza Horizon 4 does that same thing. But they've also had, like, new things, like the Eliminator, some expansion packs. So, that's my point. The Crew 2 is dead. I said it so many times. And let's talk about things that I don't like about Crew 2. This thing is... Oh, what was it? Yeah, about Crew 2 that I don't really like so far is the fact that the Crew 2 is basically just not doing anything. And then there's, like... Oh, I don't know what to say anymore, guys. Sorry. But Need for Speed Heat is in the same state as well. Even though Crew 2 has had more updates, but Need for Speed Heat is almost in the same state, but Need for Speed Heat is just a better game. Even though Need for Speed Heat, to be honest, it's a great game, but it's just very, very unoptimized. Yeah, it's just unoptimized. So, that I don't like about the Crew 2 is basically that Avatar just doesn't really care anymore. Like, they just don't care about what the players want. They just, yeah, I know that, but they probably need to. That's gonna keep people coming back to the game, and then more people are gonna be motivated to play the game. So, Avatar needs to, like, listen to the fans. Because, like, who the heck asked for Hovercrest? Like, who asked for, who asked for, like, some of the stuff that Crew 2 has that really well? Like, Hovercraft races are really frustrating. And there's still so many issues in Crew 1 that were just ported into Crew 2. Like, physics aren't still the best, even though they're okay. It's... And still being always online. And the upgrade system is kind of stupid, but it's not as bad as something like Need for Speed Payback, but it's still very annoying since you just can't buy parts. And there's no explosion view. Like, with the Crew 1 had the explosion view where you would go to upgrade your car, they would go, you just show you all the parts inside. That's not in the Crew 2. I would love to see it with, like, the point buttons, but no, it's not there. Like, why did Avatar not do that? Like, that's one of the main things I like about the Crew. It's that innovative explosion view. And the Crew 2 also has some very weird bands, like Underworld and all that. I don't really think that's a very good fit. And Crew 2 also has no underground street racing. Like, it doesn't have to be underground, it just has to be like some sort of illegal racing with cops and everything. Like, that should be in the next major update for Crew 2. Illegal street racing. That's what needs to be there. So, from now on, probably just be playing the Crew 1 and Forza Rise Forces. They're only make me come back. And all this stuff. And the Crew 2, it basically just does nothing to build off the success of the Crew 1. There's no faction missions, no PvP at launch, no, there's no summit at launch. First, it was missing so many things at launch, but there were fixes and everything, but they're just not enough. They're just not enough. The game is just missing so much content. Yeah, so that's definitely my point here is story that Crew 2 has just been very boring this past times. So I'm going out.